Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the pod, everyone.
Another week.
Another week down. And it is Valentine's week.
I know. Do you know what? I've actually never celebrated Valentine's except for this year. How weird is that?
That is really strange considering you're in a long-term relationship.
I've never celebrated it. I just genuinely have never celebrated
Do you know what,
Valentine's.
though, to be fair, like, I don't really celebrate it. I think it is a little bit of a...
It's a money racket.
It is a money-making scheme. And really, like, I'm just not really that bothered. Like, I'm not really that bothered. I did get a set of flowers. Or a bunch of flowers, should I say, which was nice. And we did go to a beach club. But really, like, we don't buy gifts for each other, buy cards and stuff. Like, I'm not really that bothered.
I just feel like it's not that big of a deal. I feel it's really for, like, new couples. Do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
That's my take on it.
Yeah, to be fair, actually, no, the first year I did get him a card.
Well, see, there you go.
And then as time goes on, you just think, meh.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Joe. Not even in that way. I just feel like we will genuinely like do.
Yeah, we do so much stuff all the time anyway.
Exactly. So I don't feel like Valentine's Day, and because obviously we work together and when we live here, obviously we have more time to actually do nice things.
Yeah.
So we don't really need to plan it on a specific day, but
you do things as a couple anyway, so it's like it's just normal. It's just another day.
Yeah.
And it was like what? Like was it Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
Who does anything on a Tuesday?
But you went out on a Valentine's, didn't you?
Yes, I did. But how funny is this, right? So, okay, if you can see the flowers in the picture, they're in this for a reason, right? Because the other day, I came home and I was like, whoa. First of all, I've just moved apartments, so no one has my address, like literally nobody. So came home and I was like, what is this? And a teddy, like that's pretty romantic, right? Like a teddy and flowers. And I opened the card and it was like a really caring like card. And I was like, who is sending me this? First of all, I'm not dating at the moment. So I was like, what is going on right now? And I messaged Liv and she was like, genuinely, she said to me, who are those from? So did Kiki. Actually, all the girls did. And I was like...
No, Kiki was convinced you bought them yourself.
Yeah, Kiki was like, did you buy them for yourself? Because
I thought your mum had sent you them.
Oh my God. I literally was like, why would I do that? Because, right, side note, I buy fresh flowers for my apartment every week, but not that extravagant, right? I get them in the supermarket. So I was a bit like... Okay, whatever. Liv's just making sure.
I'm just making sure it's recording. Because imagine that. This is the first time we've like recorded without
anyone supervising.
No one's supervising. So I just wanted to make sure. Imagine we sat here for half an hour and it didn't record. You'd
That would
probably
be
kill
very
me.
sad.
It's okay.
Okay, we're good. We're sweet. Okay, so anyway, got home. I was like, this is so weird. Everyone was like, who are they from? Kiki was like, are you sure you didn't buy them for yourself? Because I buy flowers every week. I was like, why the fuck would I buy flowers that for myself? And the card was just very sentimental. So I was like, who would do that for me? I don't know. So anyway, I ended up finding out, like at the end of the day, one of my amazing friends from Miami sent me these beautiful flowers. Her name is Luz. She's a sweetheart, saying just how much she values our friendship. And it was just such a nice gesture. Liv, we were setting off the podcast here. She was like, oh, did you find out who sent you those flowers? I was like, yeah, Luz. And she was like, oh yeah. She was like, she asked me for your address and asked me to purchase something for you.
I sent her the address and I sent her the brand. I sent her where to get it from.
Like, and you messaged me
don't know.
on Tuesday being like, oh, who sent you them? But you had actively gone and done it. So I don't know what's wrong with Liv right now. She's dating pretty heavy. So
I wish I could be like, oh yeah, it was strategic me asking you, but genuinely I forgot until like half an hour ago that I'd had that conversation.
So funny.
Oh,
so that was my Valentine's. I actually went on a really nice dinner with one of the girls. We just had like a nice chill day because we had a lot of projects on. So we just said, you know what, we'll actually just go and chill. We had a really nice night.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Really nice.
So that was my Valentine's.
Love that. Well, this week there has been a bit of a shitstorm in the fitness industry, hasn't there?
Oh my God.
So much controversy. So if you're into fitness, you will know that there has been the first male wellness athlete compete in Brazil.
Yeah.
Which has honestly like broke the internet.
It's been crazy.
It's broke the internet.
I woke up and I like the first, obviously because everyone I follow is bodybuilding, fitness. There was just stuff everywhere. Like people think, should they be doing it? Shouldn't they be doing it? It wasn't like a big show. It wasn't like NPC or anything like that. I think people were getting triggered because no one had said anything, and then it's like just this random show that's appeared, but it was an NPC.
What's your opinion on it?
Like, I think I'm always going to be a bit more sensitive because it's my category.
Yeah.
It's what I do. It would be like bikini for you. And I just feel like when I first saw it, my initial reaction was like, what is going on? Like, why hasn't this been spoken about? Why hasn't there been like a vote about it? Why haven't people like openly been able to discuss it first? Because it was just thrown there.
Yeah.
So everyone was just chaotic about it. And I feel like because there was so much mixed opinion on it, I was getting a bit like, I genuinely was getting stressed, being like, is there going to be men now competing against women?
Yeah.
And that is one thing, like, I'm very, like, impartial to everything else. Like, you know, I understand, like, equality. I understand all of that. I'm very much, like, platonic when it comes to that stuff. I'm all for, do you be the person that you want to be? But at the same time, I'm like, the one thing that I find very difficult is men and women in sport together.
Yeah.
Like, you're still at
Because
a different level.
genetically we aren't the same.
We're not the same.
And I think you probably have to go off like, you know, the gender that you were assigned to at birth.
Yep.
That is genetically who you should be competing against in whatever sport. Because if you look at any sport across the board, it doesn't matter whether it's bodybuilding, like guys will get bigger.
100%.
Girls can still, you know, be probably a little bit more sensitive to androgens and like grow very well, but they're still never going to be as big as guys.
Never.
Like even open bodybuilders, they're never going to be as big as guys. But even if you look at like swimming, if you look at running, the fastest person on earth is a male.
Yeah.
The fastest swimmer on earth is a male.
Yeah.
Like there is a reason for that. And I think that's probably why a lot of people got triggered by it. And then there was obviously the talk of like whether it's really appropriate, like whether it should be something that is brought in like to the IFBB. And honestly, like I don't think it ever will be.
When I saw like the president obviously talk about it like the other day, Tyler Mannion put up a post.
What did he say?
Basically just saying like, if you have not heard that the categories have been changed from the official IFBB website, from the NPC website, like then nothing has changed. We're very happy with where the categories are. And once I saw that, I'll be honest, like I got a bit of a sense of relief because I feel like already the category is getting a bit out of control, like when it comes to size and volume, like we all know this. And the fact then there may be like males coming in to the class, I was a bit like, what is going on? Fair enough if they want to do like a category on their own. Like I understand, like we have women's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
There's men's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
That is absolutely fair enough.
Do you think there should be a men's wellness class?
That's very difficult to say because like, it's like, should there be men's bikini? Like,
True.
You know?
I honestly, like, I think, to be honest, like, I thought he looked great.
Oh yeah, like he did.
He looked really
insane.
good. Like he fit the category more than some females that I
100%.
see. Like he is fucking an amazing athlete. I just think it is a little bit, you know, like how we've obviously got like fitness model federations here, and there can be like a transformation category.
Yeah.
Or there might be like the world's fittest mum or whatever it is. I obviously don't follow it, so I'm not
World's
100%
fittest
sure.
mum.
I don't know what it is. But I think if you know, if some fitness model federations want to take it on, then I think, do you know what, like go figure.
100%.
Do I think it would be booming in the UK? I don't think so. There's not many guys that I know that have really tried to be lower body dominance to that extent, just because I feel like, I don't know, I've just never seen it. And I can't really see many guys either, like the lower body dominance aside, want to wear like women's sparkly pants.
Yeah.
I mean, there obviously will be some guys out there. There will be some guys that in the UK, wherever in the world, that will look at that and go, God, I resonate to that and I want to look like that. And I do think that is great. But I think overall, when we think about protecting the sport, when we think about protecting what bodybuilding is and like having some differentiations in that, obviously we don't have like women's classic bodybuilding. Like,
exactly.
There is obviously the differences in that. And I think there kind of is a reason for that. And I think, could there be like a men's wellness in the future where they are lower body dominant? Maybe, but I don't know whether they should be necessarily wearing like sparkly bikini bottoms in the same sense that, you know, a woman wouldn't go on wearing men's classic shorts.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm literally in full agreement to that. And I feel if that ever does come into play, it's going to take a lot of time consideration.
100%.
I feel the panel.
I don't think the world yet is ready for it.
No, definitely not.
And I think, do you know what, you do you. Not everything has to be a bodybuilding category.
Yeah.
Like there's so many people out there, a little bit like Hattie Boydell, for example, like absolutely amazing athlete. I would give my right arm to look like that.
100%.
But is she in an IFBB category? No, she's not. 100%. She doesn't really fit in anywhere. Like if she wanted to be wellness, she'd have to bring up her upper body a lot. She'd have to bring up her lower body a lot, downsize her upper body a lot. Again, like we have fitness model categories to kind of come away from the bodybuilding categories.
Yeah.
And I think it could be within the fitness model space.
Yeah.
Not necessarily IFBB.
I actually genuinely agree with you.
Yeah.
I genuinely agree with you there. I think the way the IFBB have done things, they keep it very old school, they keep it very to the book, they keep it very classic. And I just feel like, in my opinion, that's why the IFBB is where it is today.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and I don't think there's anything wrong with...
I agree.
There has been transitions with the introduction of classic, with the introduction of wellness, but I do think at the same time we do have to allow the sport to be what it is, and you know, will it develop over time? Of course. I think for where we are right now within the fitness space and where the IFBB is, I think it being a fitness model category is probably more likely.
Yeah. So moving down the world of like FMG and WBFF. And
yeah, I could see it there.
I could see that.
I could see guys in FMG with the wings and all
100%.
that. That would really fit that space. Would it fit IFBB? I don't think so.
I agree.
Speaking of IFBB and speaking of wellness,
I knew you were going to talk about it.
You are making your pro debut.
Yeah, what is going on?
That's so exciting.
I know. We've talked about this for so long.
We have.
Liv's been like on a journey with me, to be honest. But like, it's kind of like, you know, I think the reason that I stopped, obviously, like I had some health complications that I don't really feel like I'm ready to discuss right now, but I definitely will share with everyone in time.
That'll have to be a whole episode of itself.
Yeah, literally.
On the pod.
Literally. It's been a roller coaster because I think as I've always every time I compete, I always place really well. I've never placed below top 3. I've always like smashed it. The Pro League, I am very much a realist. I think where our whole group kind of is.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't look at myself like, oh yeah, I'm ready to jump into the Pro League. I am absolutely not, you know? So I knew I had work to do. I know I need to step it up. But the one thing that kind of, obviously with the health complications that I had and not being able to push, on top of that was the size of the category. And from 2021, when I won my pro card, to today, it's totally different. It's totally different.
It has evolved.
Yeah.
And it has got bigger. And I think the thing is when you look at the winner, right? She isn't the biggest girl on stage. However, if you go to a European show,
They're massive.
They are still huge. And I think it's because a lot of people will not struggle to get the proportions, but they can't. I mean, I think people do get carried away a little bit, but also to get that level of size, for a lot of people to get the size of the glutes, like their quads will naturally just grow. And really, like for NCL, like her quads are developed, but they're not massive.
I agree.
Some girls in the wellness category now definitely have got a lower body bigger than some female bodybuilders.
100%. Like I remember in 2021, it was actually the day before Amateur O, and she was in the gym training glutes with me, and it was
crazy.
Like literally, she is such she looks like a little Polly Pocket. She is so petite, she's so feminine, she's just, her aura is like really infectious. Just to look at her, she's the whole package. And that's what wellness is about. It's a step up from bikini. It's still keeping your femininity. It's still like displaying that like feminine energy, and like girls should aspire to be like that, you know? And I feel like she really displays that in a perfect way.
Yeah.
She is the perfect representation for me for wellness. But I'm not saying that like the girls that are getting bigger are not, because that is impressive. For a female to look like that, it is impressive.
And not many people can actually get those proportions. Like I honestly feel like even if I smashed a load of gear, I still would never look like that. Genuinely.
Yeah.
My glutes would never. They could never. My quads, maybe they would probably grow a little bit too big. But in comparison, like to get that balance that you need, because yes, it's unsymmetrical top to bottom, but still you need to have more glute than quad, enough quad. Like it's a small waist, which a lot of people will struggle to get if they're trying to put on size. again, like it is really like fine tuning. And I think sometimes like over the years, we've kind of seen it go a little bit too far. And even Tyler himself did that video about how girls are getting too big and they will get marked down if they get too big. And like Sunny Andrews, I'm sure she had to downsize a little bit just to actually fit the category. So it's great that they are reining it in a little bit, because I think it toes the line, doesn't it, between is it achievable? And obviously bodybuilding for a lot of people isn't achievable, but people are in the space now where they will do anything to get that. And sometimes that comes with risk.
It's a risk. It's a risk. And the only reason that, do you remember when Tyler, like the president, came out and said, right, this is the wellness class? And we saw it at the Olympia this year. We saw them, like the bigger girls were getting third call outs. We saw the more proportionate to the category, and the people who were more in line with what they were looking for were the ones that were taking the first call outs. And that to me excited me, because now I felt like, right, now I can move again. Because before that, I'll be honest, like I was looking at them being like I love bodybuilding. So do you. We breathe it every single day. We love it. It's my passion. It's something we've done for years. But I genuinely looked at it and said, I don't want to push my body. I don't want to take the supplements that would be required for me to get that big to do that. I don't want to do it. I want to do it in the way that I've always done it. And it was taking it too far. It was stepping over that line for me, that it was just a risk I was never going to take. But I do believe that people get so caught up in the sport now, like you said, they will literally do whatever it takes. They're shoving shit into their body. They don't know the implications. They don't know what labs they're getting it from. And it's like, is it worth it?
It is really concerning. I think that's probably why the presidents have kind of stepped in, because it doesn't look good from an outside perspective looking into bodybuilding when we see more and more females sort of like crossing that boundary. And again, like if you look at number one figure in the world, she is so feminine, so petite, muscle in all the right places. And unfortunately, like for a lot of these girls, really pushing, and I know some amateurs that are pushing so many drugs to try and fit a category that their body is just never going to be in. And I think that's what I've learned. And I think I've kind of come to terms with, I don't really fit a category very well. And for me to try and shrink myself into bikini, I think I'd be doing myself a disservice. I don't think I would ever be able to be figure or wellness. So I'm quite at peace with the fact that I'm probably never going to be on stage again. I might do it for fun, I think. But, you know, at one point I was thinking about trying to aim for a pro card and be a pro bikini. But I've kind of come to the realization that with the way that the class is going and, you know, looking at myself critically, I'm probably never going to be that. I think a lot of people don't really look at themselves and think, I'm actually not going to be a pro. And I think there is a definite difference as well between getting your pro card and doing well in the pro league. And it's like Phoebe, our friend Phoebe, is probably one of those people that she is made for the category. She's made for it.
Her body is bikini.
She got her pro card as a natural athlete. She is someone that doesn't need to push gear. She will grow like a weed. She can, you know, she works hard, but she diets well. She holds her muscle. You are up against these people that genetically are made for the sport.
100%.
And I think these people trying to like really, really force themselves into a category that is never going to happen is dangerous, especially wellness, more so than bikini, because, you know, if I had to shrink, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to do my health like a massive detriment. I mean, she says, but to take so much gear to fit a category that is obviously a lot bigger than bikini, I think people will take it too far and then probably look back and be like, why the fuck did I do that? And then it's too late.
It's too late. You cannot reverse the damage.
You can't go back. Like over time, yes, your features might become more feminine again. But at the end of the day, like once your voice is gone,
it's gone.
Once your hands are huge, once your clit is massive, which happens.
It does happen. You know what's funny?
It probably can get a little bit better, but sometimes it is irreversible. And that's and then like once you have got a pro card but don't make it in the pro league, you might get to the Olympia, but then what? Yep. Then what?
100%. I actually had a conversation. I was on a call with a client last night. Natural figure was like, should I push? First of all, I wanted her to be in wellness anyway because she's in between. I'm a very real coach. Like, you're the exact same. We say the same thing. I'm not going to say to you, yeah, for my gain, could I get her to win an overall? Could I get her to win a pro card? For sure. Like, if she jumped on assistance, yeah, she could be there. She's just one of those athletes that could be there. I literally said to her, like, I adore her. She's been working with me for 2 years. I said, I want you to think about you're single. I want you to think about your love life. I want you to think about like how you feel in a dress. I want you to think about all these things, because you're always going to love bodybuilding. You're always going to love like training, eating, like being coached. That's not a factor. But I would be doing myself as a disservice as a coach to not go through these things with you.
Yeah.
And we decided last night, we're on the call for about an hour. We decided we're going to move to wellness, because she's genetically made, she's made for it. So I was very excited about that. And then we're going to do it like naturally. She's going to run natural shows, get to the best that she possibly can there, and then just see what happens. If she wants to go down the assisted route in time, we can talk about that. But last night, having the conversation, I personally didn't think it was appropriate.
Yeah. And do you know what? This isn't to say also there is some people out there that don't mind the virilization that comes with drugs.
For sure.
Like, some people don't care about that. Some people do love their category and do love bodybuilding enough. I just feel like, unfortunately, like I'm around too many people now that regret it.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like talking about it on this podcast is so important, because there will be first timers, there will be people that haven't competed yet, there will be just young athletes, not necessarily like young at age, but just in terms of experience, that look at these wellness girls and be like, I would love to look like that. I would fucking love to look like that. Yeah. I would love to look like that. But
everyone would.
But equally, like, I love looking, sounding, feeling like a female.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure a majority do, but I think you can get caught up if you're given, if your coach is saying, yeah, you can do this, you can win that, of course you're going to listen to them.
Yeah.
So you are going to do what you feel is necessary. But one thing I would say to anyone is, like, please be careful. Like, you should be having a conversation and it needs to be your choice.
Yeah.
And you need to err on the side of caution with the volume of assistance that you're going to be taking.
The duration. I see people like running Anavar only cycles, like 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off. I know, coaches that do that in the UK, and it's like, just Anavar isn't just Anavar.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's still an anabolic steroid. You're still going to get side effects from it. And
yeah.
I know girls that have seen their voice drop instantly just by using Anavar. And I think that's where it can get, a little bit messy. There is a lot of assistance that you can use that doesn't come with virilization. Right. And I think everyone should be exhausting that before even thinking about really sort of like pushing that side of things.
Yep. I think
it's just my teeth.
I think you just need to have the right guidance. And like, this is the thing. I think like when I take people to stage, to be honest with you, like over 80% of what you see on my page, they're all natural. Yeah. Like, I'm very proud to say, like 98% of my wellness girls that win overalls, that win first place, they're all natural.
Yep.
And I'm proud of that, because you can do it. You can do it if you're there already and you need some fine tuning. Give yourself time. Like, stop rushing it. Like, there's shows every few weeks.
Because that's what you said, obviously, didn't you? About you. You're quite happy to take a step back and give yourself more time, like if you feel like you need it.
I don't care. Like, I won my pro card. I don't have anything to prove. I'm a very successful athlete in the sport, like from what I've done over the last few years. And I don't need to, I don't compete to prove a point. I compete because I fucking love it. I compete because I enjoy it. I compete because it just makes me happy. I've never competed for anything else. And I feel that's where people are going wrong, number one. And number two, I feel I will never, ever get on stage. If it takes me 5 years, if it takes me 6 years, I don't care. I will move when I feel like I'm ready, when I feel like I can be competitive. But I am not going to push assistance to a point where I'm like, I will do whatever it takes. I just won't do that.
But I think that's really admirable. Because I think... admirable? However you fucking say it.
I knew what you were saying.
Because I think there is like the die-hard bodybuilding world, and I think that is probably very more so UK and Ireland than over here anyway.
But you can be die-hard. That doesn't mean you're die-hard. Like, walking around with your top wear doesn't mean you're die-hard. Like, I literally live my life. I smash my physique. Like, you're the exact same thing. I smash my physique. You know what I mean? I smash bodybuilding. I do what I need to do, and I still look the way that I do. And I in my opinion, I'm a die-hard lover for the sport. So are you. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean it's like what you're saying. Like, I don't have to be taking every drug under the sun. I don't need to be like psychotic with that kind of behavior. Like, I'm not doing it.
And I also feel like as well, like there is the die-hard behaviour, like you can't go out and enjoy yourself.
Oh,
And it makes me laugh this because I did see a post from a coach being like, you shouldn't get bodybuilding advice from people that go out on a weekend.
shut
And
up.
honestly, that to me, I just find that
Drives me crazy.
mentality crazy because I just feel like you can still make progress and enjoy your life.
And you know why I feel so many guys and so many girls end up resenting the sport is because they feel so isolated. Bodybuilding's lonely. It's a one-man band. It's you versus you. We've had this conversation a number of times. I go out for coffee during the week. I go out for shisha. I will actively show on my story when I am out for dinner. I will actively show what I'm doing because it is a normal thing to do. Bodybuilding should complement your life. It shouldn't take away from it. It's something that is an extra. Unless you're getting paid a shit ton of money to be like doing what you're doing and you're being told you need to stay in, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I've obviously not been dieting for a prep. I've got a photo shoot and I've just been dieting. So that has meant that I've had to make wise decisions in terms of like when I've gone out, but I've still gone out every single week.
Every single week.
Whether it's just for a Diet Coke and a shisha or whether I've actually gone out and had a salad with dressing on the side. But I just feel like you can still go out and be present in social situations and still make good decisions based on what goals you have. But like if I'm in an off season, if I'm not dieting and I want to have a drink, I will have a drink.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make me less of a bodybuilder. It doesn't make me less of an athlete. It doesn't make me less of a good coach, more importantly, because
It makes you a better one, in my opinion.
I know how to live like a normal person, and the majority of my clients will be lifestyle clients or, you know, first timers.
Yeah.
And I would encourage any one of them to actually have a life outside of bodybuilding. Otherwise, what's it for?
I agree. But like a lot of our friends are Olympians. A lot of them are pros, like nearly our whole group. And when we look at it, they all understand that you can go die hard for the sport, but you can also go for coffee.
Phoebe is top 10 Olympia. She is the most successful bodybuilder in the UK.
Yeah, number
from
one.
the UK.
Female, number
And
one.
she enjoys her off season to the fullest. She'll come out and say, yeah, maybe I should have like handled off season better.
Yeah.
But still will progress every year. Again, she is made for the sport, but everyone in that top 10 Olympia are made for the sport.
Yeah.
That is what you're up against. So enjoy your fucking life.
I agree.
Like,
but
enjoy
if
your
you look
life.
at Sebum, what does he do? He takes a couple of months off. He's always posting him and his fiance like out there doing bits.
Yeah.
I'm like you can, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your accolades are. If you are someone who needs to isolate themselves day in, day out, you don't see friends, you don't see family because you need to just be at home, then that's a lack of control from your side.
Yeah,
in
100%.
my
And
opinion.
I do see that like people are either on plan or off plan.
What is that?
And they can't have any in between. And that is so toxic to me.
It's toxic.
Like having an off plan meal that you know exactly how many rolls of sushi that you have, that's not an off plan.
Yeah.
Like that isn't an off plan. And I just think like to actually have the ability as a coach to go out and enjoy yourself and not track it, again, is admirable because I know that there are coaches out there that say, oh yeah, I'm going out and eating this, that and the other. And
You're not doing that
tracked.
though. You're not doing it.
You actually tracked it, which is fucking crazy.
But I think my line, right, and I think any of my clients listening to this will actually just laugh because I have it like drilled into their head, and it's every check-in, like when they're doing something, they'll say, I'm going to go out and eat like an adult. Like,
Yeah,
you're
I
not
always use that as
12.
well.
You're not 12. So
Stop eating like a child.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine.
Yeah. Even holidays, like when people go away, they're like, oh my God, Kate, I'm on plan. Like, what am I going to do? I'm like, well, you're not going to be on plan for holidays. Make smart decisions, eat similar foods. I give very little guidance, actually, to be honest, around that time.
I say best 2 out of 3. So that's my line, best 2 out of 3. When you're on holiday, it's very easy to eat egg on toast.
Yeah.
Oats in the morning.
Yeah.
Fruit and yogurt.
Chicken.
So easy. Salad, veg, protein at lunch, and then eat whatever the fuck you want, have a cocktail in the evening. Best 2 out of 3. If you follow that rule, that's what I've done every time I've gone on holiday and I've not come back 10 kilos.
Yeah.
Have you? Apart from when I was 5 weeks post-show, but that is a story for another time.
But I do agree.
And that was when I got the Dubai stone in like...
Oh, fuck. Don't even go there.
It was majority water, but fuck me.
But I genuinely feel like it just shows a lack of like self-discipline on someone's part if they're telling you you can't do this, you have to be at home, you can only be in the gym. I'm like, what is that though? You know, so like we could literally go through this all day, but in my opinion, you can go out, you can socialize, you can see people. Like you don't have to sit there and eat a meal if people are doing that. Like you don't.
No.
Like you, when I've been on prep here, like majority of our group are on prep all of the time. We will literally sit there. I'll have coffee.
Yeah.
Have coffee.
I'm just happy to be out.
Yeah. Just
I'm
do
just
that.
happy to be out.
You sound like you're locked away.
I know, I'm locked away. No, I'm just happy to be out and socialise, to be fair. Like, that is what's more important to me, like, actually being social. I do get through times, like, it can be harder, like, when you are being social, watching people eat your favourite food can be a little bit, like, torture sometimes. But at the end of the day, like, you have a goal, so...
It is what it is.
It is what it is for a short period. Like, if it's for 12 weeks, like, fucking hell, it's not that long, is it?
You can have a cookie in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I genuinely think those are like very good topics. I feel like they were like on our chest for a minute, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
They were.
I've really felt like I've been able to
Release. But on that note, I feel next week is going to be an exciting one.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that yet.
Yeah, we'll have a nice guest.
A very nice one.
Very, very good guest.
So on that one, we will leave you at this.
Yeah.
And we hope you enjoyed this podcast. And we will catch you in the next one.